look at sin makes us full of darkness. Jesus says he is the light and that we much rather prefer to enjoy looking at the sin than follow him. John 8 verse 12.
Verse 12. Then spake Jesus again unto them, saying, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
If we as Seventh-day Adventists claim to love God, we will follow Christ and not walk in darkness. We will not have an evil eye if we love Christ. 1 John 1 verse 6.
1 John 1 verse 6. 1 John 1 verse 6. If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth.
If we say we love Jesus, yet we walk in darkness, if we find pleasure in looking at others sinning, Jesus says we lie, we don't really love him. Ephesians 5:11.
Ephesians 5:11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
So, we're not to have fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness. We're not to have fellowship with sin. We should reprove them or expose them. Brothers, let's just quickly look at Romans 1 verse 32 again.
James.
Romans 1 32. Or 1 verse 28 to 32.
Romans 1
28 to 32.
28 32. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whispers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. After 32. Without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do they do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
Okay, so to retain God in your knowledge, you should be learning each day about God. And without God, that list of sins will start coming in. Look at the list given. Do we know movies or programs on TV that include these? Do we know movies with fornication in them? People sleeping around. Do we know movies like that? Covetousness, people wanting things that others have. Murder, we see movies with murder in it. Movies with dating. Children who are disobedient to their parents. People who hate God. We hear them constantly blaspheming. People who break God's covenant. Or who shows no mercy towards others. We've seen all these things in the movies. I know personally that there is almost no program on TV that does not have sin in it. I used to collect movies. I had my own collection. From comedies, action, But as I started to study God's Word, as He started to draw me out of the world with His love, He showed me things in those movies. He showed me that these movies are preaching sin. The movie is a sermon itself. It's preaching sin. If God says, do not murder, then you have action films, killing people. Now, why do we love action films? A lot of men will say, just give me an action film and I'm happy. Why do we love action films? It's because of the action. It's because of the shooting each other and the killing. God says the heathens do these things. They love darkness. But He says there are Seventh-day Adventists who like to watch heathens sinning. If we watch an action film, what are we doing? We're loving them sin. And He says we have pleasure in it. So I would take each DVD to compare it with God's Word, and if it didn't measure up to God's Word, I would destroy it. And guess how many DVDs I have today? 0. I couldn't get one DVD out of my whole collection that doesn't contradict God's Word in one way or another. Now, movies preach a different gospel than what the Bible preaches. We should choose which gospel we prefer. The gospel of Jesus or the gospel of the movies? 2 Corinthians 3. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 18.
3 verse 18. But we all, with open face, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord.
By beholding the glory of God, we are changed into the same image, into the image of the glory of God. Brothers, if we are changed into the image of the glory of God by beholding God, into what image are we changed to behold sin? The image of sin. Think about that. Amen.